So we're here at the Christchurch Street Sprint and we're here with Sam. Sam, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into motorsport and maybe even how old you are?
Hey, I'm Sam, I'm 36 years old. I've got into motorsport about 7 years ago when I had enough money to do it. I always loved cars, always loved watching the sport. As soon as I could afford to do it, I bought my first car and started getting into it. So we've progressed quite a bit since my first car. We've just finished building this car, which is sort of the pride and joy. We're here today doing the street sprint, which isn't normally what we do. We normally compete in drifting, but I'm really enjoying the street sprint stuff, and it's cool just trying to beat your own time, and I guess we'll see how we're going to go soon.
Yeah. So normally this is in drift mode. What have you had to do to set it up for street sprint?
We've put big tyres on it. We've changed the camber of the wheels. We're still not getting that much traction, but it's as much as we're going to get. Yeah.
Cool. And how many race cars have you had, and what number race car is this one?
I've had 3 race cars. This is my second race car reborn.
Cool. Yeah. And what do you do for a day-to-day? What's your job?
We do structural steel. So we supply, fabricate and erect structural steel.
Cool. And so structural steel, it's your company?
Yeah, it's my company. Yeah, we do everything from design to putting the building up.
Cool. And tell us a little bit about the car.
So the car itself is obviously an S15 chassis. We've cut and welded pretty much everything in it. We've cut the whole back of the car off, put the radiator in the back, put a Winters rear end. We've got a full, we've got bigger brakes on it. We've got a Wisefab front end. We've got a 427 big block with a supercharger on it. We've got 8-to-1 headers, which you know, quite impressive.
And how much power is this one putting out?
This car's putting above 1,000 horsepower. Yeah.
And at that much power, like, is it good? Is it too much? Is it usable?
On a street sprint with this setup, it's not usable power. So we've dialed it back to sort of 800 horsepower, and even that's struggling to get traction. But it's actually, you know, it's built for drifting, so that's what we do.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And did you guys build this engine yourself, or?
No, we actually, Simon from Shorefab, just shout out to Simon from Shorefab. He built this engine. He's an impressive man. He's done a lot of work on this car, and yeah, I take my hat off to Simon and people that can do that sort of thing, because you know, it's a skill that not many people have.
Yeah. And so was this all custom, all your headers?
So the headers were made up north by Welsh Fab, another legend. But then a guy named Daniel Johnson, who actually works for VIP Steel, did all the body fabrication and the tunnel and the rear end. And then Simon sort of took it, built the motor, did all the finishing works. Yeah, so it runs a sequential 5-speed G-force gearbox, which there isn't many of these in New Zealand at the moment. Very impressive gearbox, so smooth. Yeah, other than that, the whole tunnel's been cut out. Full custom roll cage that Shorefab built as well. All our control panels up here. Nice steering wheel, OMP seats. One of the cool things I've done on this car is I've put a full fire extinguisher system in it. So if there's any fires at the front of the car, the back of the car, or in the car, I just stick my finger through that and it puts the fire out. So I thought, I've spent all the money on the car, I might as well spend a bit of money on, you know, protecting it and myself.
And yeah, what's your favourite thing about this car, or like from a driving perspective?
My favourite thing about this car is just the pure power of it. Just, you can literally click this car into 5th gear at 50k an hour and put your foot down, it will just light the wheels up.
And you've had turbo engines before, and is this the first V8? Maybe
Yeah,
to tell us about
this. This is my second V8. I had Fanger Dan's old VF Combi with a LS2 with a Vortex supercharger on it, which I've still got. And then this here's my second V8, but the V8s are just a completely different power. I still love my turbos. I've still got turbo GDRs and stuff like that. But for reliability and just outright grunt, I'm rating the V8s, yeah.
So at the back of the car, you know, a little bit unconventional, having the radiator in the back. For those that don't know, can you tell us about, you know, the setup and why?
So we've mounted the radiator, all the cooling in the back of the car. The fuel tank's been moved in right to the back. The reason we've put everything in the back of the car is we've tried to get some weight into the back to help settle the car. And it's the first time I've ever driven a car with everything in the back, and it seems to work really well.
Yeah, awesome. And what size tyres? You said that you've got some pretty big slicks on for today.
Yeah, so these are 335s semi-slicks. So they're a big wide tyre, and we're just trying to get as much grip as we can. But yeah, like I say, they're still lighting up like they're nothing.
Yeah. And how was it in the rain this morning?
It was very, it was fun. I think you've got to drive in all conditions. I think it's part of the sport. And just because it's a bit of rain doesn't change anything for me. I just go out there and have some fun. That's what it's about.
So in the background we can see your full race transporter.
Yeah.
So your company, you were telling me, has got a lot of trucking or a lot of trucks involved. So essentially you've just had to buy a transporter. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
So pretty much what happened was we decided we wanted to go up and do D1NZ, and then we had to start thinking about the logistics of it. There's two of us in our team, so it's myself and Daniel Caldwell. This trailer here popped up. We bought the trailer and then we spent a bit of money on it, just making it feel like home. We've got a bit of a smoker area in the front with a TV and stuff so we can watch live events. Fits 2 cars in it, and we tow it around with our Kenworth, which is one of our trucks that tow our steel around. Yeah, it certainly is impressive having your own transporter. Yeah, what a nice bit of kit. So a car like this, what's a car like this worth, or what is the cost to build something like this? Yeah, the cost to build a car like this is well above 100,000. Yeah, you've got to be working pretty hard and you know, want to be doing it to spend that sort of money on it. Yeah,
well, it's a beautiful machine and it looks awesome out on track. Thanks for giving us a little tour.
No worries.
33 away.